Hi, good morning. This is Chef Jamil. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are doing another session in the Men Who Cheat series, and what we are making today is a spicy lasagna. So I'm starting off with my lasagna shells. I like to use a company by the name of DeCecco. So I'll show you the pasta. You can get this lasagna pasta or another one of your choosing. I just happen to like this one. DeCecco has a nice pasta that's pre-made. So we're gonna get that. I put about 8 sheets of this in 4 quarts of boiling water. I'll show you right now. So our pasta is on a rolling boil. I put in a teaspoon of salt and a tablespoon of oil just so that the pasta doesn't stick together, and I'm going to boil that till the pasta is about translucent. So that should take us about 8 minutes. All right. Okay, let's continue. We're going to continue working on our lasagna. And so this is from my Men Who Cheat series, and let me just be clear. Ladies, this is not about cheating as far as with other women in the bedroom. This is about cheating in the kitchen, and this is about your man making you happy by finding little quick ways and tricks in order to create the meals that are going to make you smile. So let's move forward. What we're doing is a meat lasagna, and this meat lasagna does have pork and beef. So I have cut up some onions. Guys, you want to get everything ready before you get started. So you want to pre-chop your garlic, your onions. You want to have your mozzarella already shredded up. I do also use some shredded Parmesan, so I have my parm here ready to go. And this is the cheating part. This one is a pre-shredded Parmesan, right? So I'm going to mix that in with this just to give it another pop in the flavor. We are also going to do, not use our own tomato sauce. We're going to use a pre-made, and we've already done our lasagna. So that's already cooked for our layering. So you can see, I used DeCecco because it's a nice durum wheat pasta. It's a good pasta I like to buy over the counter. You can make your own pasta. That's when you're not cheating. That's when you're really putting it in. So this is the one I'm going to be using, and I like to use this brand, Newman'sOwn, because it's 100% profits that go to charity, and I like that. I'm going to be using organic ground beef. I'm going to be using sweet sausage as well as hot sausage, and we're going to get that started. So I'm going to put now in my pot about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Get that going over medium heat. Okay, I had to clarify what the cheat series was about, because you know some people get bothered when they hear the word cheating, but this is the good kind of cheating. This is the kind of cheating you want your man to do. This is the kind of cheating that makes you happy. Okay, this is the only kind of cheating, matter of fact, fellas. This is the way you cheat. So let's get back to that. 2 tablespoons of olive oil are going to go in here. And you're going to forgive me if I don't use measuring spoons, because sometimes I don't. I know what 2 tablespoons looks like. You should, however, absolutely use 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So I have a half tablespoon measure here, so I'll just do 4 of those. I'm heating up my pan. And why I'm doing this, first is I'm going to saute my onions and my garlic a little bit. I used a half tablespoon here, so that's why I'm doing this 4 times, as you can see. And just putting a little bit of that olive oil. Now, this is another cheat that I do, and fellas, I don't expect you to do this cheat, but it's a good one for the ladies to try. If you do eat pork, because again, this is a pork-based dish. I'm doing sausage and meat lasagna. I take the fat left over from my bacon, I strain it, and I save it, and I keep it in my refrigerator in the drawer. And then I break it out whenever I want to give a little bit of that smoky pork flavor to anything. So I'm going to use a little bit of bacon fat that I have rendered and saved. Put that in right here. I hope you had an amazing Christmas, and you're going to have a wonderful New Year's tomorrow. About half a tablespoon of that. go. Nice, great rendered bacon fat. Wrap that up. So that's a little cheat for the ladies too. And that's if you eat bacon. If you don't, we won't hold it against you. Sometimes I do things that are meatless. I do an amazing vegetarian lasagna, but I'll teach you guys how to do that on another day. Today we are doing a spicy meat lasagna. Alright, so get the olive oil out of here. That's hot. I'm going to use a wooden spoon, get my onions and my garlic. I'm going to do the onions first because the garlic cooks really fast and it tends to burn. So I'm just going to get my onions just translucent. Put the garlic in there. And since I have a high heat, everything's cooking kind of fast, so I'm going to turn it down. Get that all in there. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to probably take it off. That smells so good. And let that sit on the side while I do the beef. That smells good. Actually, I think I'm going to put the pork into it. So, my spicy sausage, I want to take off the cask that the sausage is in, that's the skin that they put it in once they process it. Turn my heat down. Yeah, my sausage out. So sweet sausage and spicy sausage. Take it out of the cask. So you're just going to break that up with your spoon. My garlic has browned a little bit. Just wanted to get that flavor into my pork sausage. So this cheat recipe, fellas, does take a little more time. It requires a little more effort. So this is when you graduate it a bit. But it's a great one because it's a meal that lasts for a couple of days. It's something that's pretty simple. You're just going to do this little bit of cooking. The rest of the cooking happens in the oven. And you can put it in the oven and not worry about it for an hour. And it's going to come out and look and taste fabulous. So, again, remind you to do all your prep first. Shred your mozzarella. I should have did this sausage, taking it out of the cask first, but I'm doing it a la minute, last minute. You're going to pre-cook your lasagna in a lot of water, with a little oil. I did that before, and some salt. So, your lasagna shells are already ready. You're going to put them in cold water as soon as they're done boiling, so you can stop the cooking process. Put them on the side as you wait for your meat sauce to be ready, and prepare the rest of your ingredients for your lasagna. There, so read everything that you're purchasing. Make sure you know what flavors are already being featured. Open this beef. We have organic beef. Our beef is from Kirkland brand. It's Costco. Wash my hands a little bit. So far in the pot, what we have is the inside of two types of sausage. It's a sweet sausage, sweet Italian sausage, and a spicy Italian sausage. I took the cast off, and we got rid of that and discarded it. Just took the meat out inside. I sauteed that with some red onion and garlic, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and 1/2 tablespoon of bacon fat that I had rendered earlier. You don't have to do that. That is optional. I just like the flavor of the smoky bacon that I had got that fat from, and I wanted that incorporated in the flavoring of my meat. Now the sweet sausage I had looks like it has some fennel in it, so that's gonna be yummy. So that flavoring is already in there. Again, this is a cheat lasagna, so we're cheating our way through it. We're going to use an organic marinara sauce by Newman'sOwn, which 100% of the profits go to charity, instead of making our own tomato sauce. But we're going to kick it up a little bit, add some red wine to it. And fellas, you can use the same red wine that you might be serving with this meal. So what I'm going to use is going to be a Malbec that I already had open. So I'm just going to add some of that to this in a little while, after we get the sauce in there. Now make sure, gentlemen, clean as you go. There's nothing worse than a messy cheater. Alright? So clean up as you go. So once we get the sauce in here, I'll start cleaning up what I already have over there in the sink. And I've already cleaned up most of the stuff as I've been going, because I hate everything to stay all at once to have to clean up at the end. That is never, ever a good time. See there? So that's coming along. I'm just going to keep breaking it up and keep moving it so it cooks evenly and thoroughly. And I want it to stay nice and small. Here we go. Alright, we'll come back. Okay, so I'm seasoning my meat for the lasagna. Here it is. I'm going to add this Italian seasoning, which already has rosemary, thyme, marjoram. It has also basil, and I'm going to add fennel seeds. So this is half tablespoon. I have 2 pounds of meat in here, remember? So I'm going to sprinkle that in there to a half tablespoon. So I want it flavorful. And as you can see, I have cleaned up my kitchen for the most part. Remember, fellas, if you're going to cheat, be neat about it. Clean up after yourselves, okay? So here we go. I'm going to add some parsley in there. Same amount. Half tablespoon. Get it nice and herby. And I'm using dried herbs. Normally I would do fresh parsley, but again, we are cheating on this one. I'm going to add some fennel seeds. I like the flavor of fennel seeds, so I'm just going to put a little bit in my hand. I guess it's about 1/8 of a teaspoon. And I'm going to just kind of crush that up, because I like the flavor that it gives. Kind of like an anise flavor. I guess it's like, I guess anise also is like a little licoricey. But I just love the flavor of fennel. And there's pork involved, and we are doing a beef and pork meat lasagna. Okay, that's in there, and I'm going to do fresh cracked pepper. A lot of it, because I like it. If you don't have a pepper mill, gentlemen, I suggest you get one. Nothing like fresh cracked pepper. And again, if you don't, use regular black pepper. And I'm going to put about half a tablespoon of salt also. There we go, a little bit less. I just use my little spoon, put that all in there. So that seasoning is mixed into our meat. And our meat is pretty much done. I'm going to add our tomato sauce. We're using marinara, Newman'sOwn. Again, there we go. You're going to add a little bit of salt in the beginning because you're going to flavor it to taste. So I just started with a half a tablespoon of salt. Remember, this is 2 pounds of meat combined. And now I'm going to do our cheat sauce. So I'm going to add this whole thing. And how we're going to just extend that a little bit is I'm going to drain this out here, and we are going to put some water in there, kind of get the rest of it out. But before I do that, I'm going to mix this in and just add a little bit of warm water to the jar, just to Just get the residual out. Shake it up. Add that in. We're all set. And to my sauce, I am going to add just a little bit something extra to make that flavor really pop. Now the fennel seed will also add a little sweetness to it. But if you find that your sauce is too acidic because of the tomatoes, you're welcome to add like a pinch of sugar. And that'll bring down the acidity. And I mean a pinch. That's it. So this is looking nice and yummy. Gonna let that simmer a bit. So that's basil, parsley, fennel. So in the here is basil, rosemary, marjoram. And this is for afterwards. I have my mozzarella already sliced up, and I'm going to add now to this half a cup of red wine. I'm using this Malbec because it's what I have available and it's what's open already. Malbec is a good one actually if you want to use it. I'm going to do a quarter cup, not a half cup. So I'm doing half of that. So a quarter cup of wine, maybe even less. I might just do a third cup. Let's see. See how I like how that flavor tastes. Let me get that in there first. And the red wine just kind of kicks up the flavor of your sauce. And a Malbec has kind of a lot of fruit forward in it. Give you a nice little tannins. So add a little flavor to your sauce, your meat sauce, which we're going to be using in our lasagna. And we're going to build that shortly. Let's see how this tastes. So I'd say we use like a quarter cup of wine. Gentlemen and ladies, let me give it a little taste and see if we're going to need to add a little bit of sugar. That is tasting really good. Okay. I'm going to add a pinch of sugar. But that fennel in there tastes amazing. Maybe not. Alright. Okay, fellas, so your ricotta filling, we're going to cheat by adding some spinach. So this is where your vegetables are going to come in, because I know some of you don't even eat vegetables. But we're going to do some organic spinach into our ricotta. This lid is giving me a time. I think I opened it wrong. Anyway, you get the idea. So I'm going to use about a pound of ricotta. I'm using skim ricotta, part skim, because I wanted lower fat. And I'm going to mix that in here with the spinach. You can use a blender if you do not have a food processor. But I have a little food processor. So this is going to be for the ricotta that we use to do the layers. And if you need to thin it out, you can use either a little bit of milk or a little bit of sour cream. I like to use creme fraiche. And you can get that at your specialty food stores, gentlemen. Or again, like I said, you should have milk. So just use a little bit of milk or a little bit of sour cream if you have it. If you need to thin it out. And you don't know that yet, but let's see. To this I'm going to add a little bit of powdered garlic, even though I put garlic already in our sauce. I'm just going to add fresh spinach right in there. And it's going to get this beautiful bright green color. So I would say about a cup of fresh spinach to that. Grind this down. Let's see, let's mix this, incorporate it. Stuffed it. A little noisy. Awesome. So, to that, a teaspoon of salt, about 1/8 of a teaspoon of garlic powder. So just like a sprinkle of nutmeg. It's a little secret, I like that. Okay. Guys, definitely make sure your spice rack is right. Alright, let's give this a little taste. Looks good. I'm going to thin it out a bit because I want it to be a little more pliable. So I'm going to add a little bit of creme fraiche like I told you, but I'm going to fold that in. Doesn't that look pretty? When she cuts open, or when you cut open that lasagna and serve it to her, it's going to be like the wow factor. Who doesn't want to have a wow factor on their dinner date? Okay, so we have a ricotta filling ready. We have our mozzarella already shredded. I'm gonna combine that with our Parmesan cheese that we bought already shredded. So just buy yourself a nice brand of Parmesan already pre-shredded. And we're gonna mix that with our mozzarella that we shredded together. And I'm gonna add a little bit of creme fraiche, as I tell you about, just to thin out my ricotta filling. So my ricotta filling with spinach. Let me turn this down so you can see it. So it's nice and bright green. Lovely pop of color. It's gonna be in the middle of the layers of the lasagna, which I think you both will love. This dish and full completion with everything that you're gonna do for it, it's gonna take about 1.5 to 2 hours for some of you, depending on your skill set, but it is worth it. You will have leftovers for yourself, and you would definitely impress that date when they come over to dinner. I'm just gonna add about 2 tablespoons of creme fraiche just to make this a little creamier, kind of like it's gonna have the texture of like a bechamel, thick bechamel sauce. But I added fresh spinach, and we added powdered garlic to that. This is about a pint of ricotta skim I'd use this time, with about 2 cups of fresh spinach. I added 2 shakes of nutmeg to that, just a little bit, just for a little added flavor, and about 1/8 of a teaspoon of garlic powder, and about 1 teaspoon of salt, or maybe 1.5 teaspoons. So that's nice. That's looking lovely there. We're gonna spoon that out. I'm gonna add just a little bit more. Get that nice creaminess, so that's about 2.5 tablespoons. Okay, and you don't have to do this part. This is just something that I like. So if you don't have creme fraiche, just no problem. It's not an easy find, but if you do, fantastic. You could also use a little bit of sour cream if you like. That works too. It's up to you. So that's not a necessity. All the other wow factors are already going on. You got your wine and your meat sauce. Our meat sauce is ready, so now we are just going to build. I set my oven. The oven is on. I am doing this in a to-go container because I'm making this one for a neighbor, and I found this really cool to-go container. Look at that meat sauce. It's ready. Looks yummy. Have fennel in there. Okay, so we're gonna start building our lasagna. Turn this off. So like I said, I found this really cool to-go container in Target. So what's so cool about this to-go container is that it has a lid, it has the base, and it also has a carrying box in it. So that's all in one here. So I haven't opened it. It's called a disposable carrier kit. Isn't that pretty cool? First time I saw it and it was on sale, so I decided let me try it since I'm giving this to a neighbor. Let's see how it's put together. I love these little things. I love all kinds of little gadgets and little knickknacks, cool little things like this. Okay, so again, this came with the lid already. Oh, and for those of you who want to use these, who are moms or dads who do these, my son's school cuts box tops and saves them, and this one actually has a box top. So that's cool. So it's a little coupon for the kids, the box top that they collect at the schools to get discounts for the school. And so this is the carrying case. So this goes with the base, and then this is the box that goes around that. Look at it, it's even decorative and pretty. So I'm going to open that up, put that in there. But we are going to be putting our lasagna in here. So I'm just going to give it a little rinse since it had this cardboard in it. And we're going to plate that up and put it in the oven. Okay, so I'll show you how to do layers. Okay, so since our lasagna has pretty much cooked, like all the other parts are cooked, except for the cheese layers, we're going to get this started, pan it up, do our layers, and then get it in the oven. So my oven is at, like I said, I think 375 I told you, and I'm going to put a little sauce in the base, I'm going to spray my pan just a little bit so nothing sticks. But very lightly, gentlemen, if you do spray it. Don't get heavy-handed. Alright. Put a little sauce at the base. And spread that around. And we're going to start with a layer of pasta and finish with a layer of pasta. Then we're going to cook that covered with foil. And then I'm going to uncover it and put the mozzarella cheese on top. So let's do this. I'm going to go across since these are little chunky layers of lasagna. Now I let my lasagna dry up, so some of it's sticking together, but the wonderful thing about lasagna is that it's very forgiving. You can kind of like just put it back together. There. This is great because these are perfect size sheets for my pan. Now I'm gonna just get a spoon and start spooning in some cheese. My spinach and cheese filling mixture. I'm gonna do another layer of meat first. Yeah, I think I'll do that. And I actually, let me grab a ladle because that'll make it a lot easier for me. So I'll use this ladle. There, that's easier. I'll spread that out. You can thicken your sauce a little more if you like. Now remember we added wine to this sauce, so I probably could have cooked it down a little bit longer, but either way it's going to be amazing, and I'm going to go with it. Because this is going to be delish. Now we're going to add some dollops of the spinach cheese that we did with the ricotta. And again, it's going to leave a really beautiful look to your ricotta. I'm just going to dot it like that and then go with another layer. Just lay it right on top and press it just slightly. Don't want to smash it. We used about 2 pounds of meat altogether, so 1 1/4 pound of lean organic ground beef and about 2 pounds of sausage altogether between the sweet and the spicy sausage. And we seasoned that up and added 1/4 cup of red wine to it just to give it a little pop, nice little flavor boost. I think it's going to be lovely. I'm going to add a little cheese to the center layer of the other cheese. This one, mix some parm with the mozzarella. So I shaved out about 1/2 pound of mozzarella. I grated it before I started. And now I'm mixing it with about 1/4 cup of parm. I'm just going to add this to one of the layers just to have a cheesy center layer of mozzarella and parm, because we already have the ricotta with the spinach layer. And I'm going to put that right on top. Just want to have this little goo in the center. Make it fun. Go. And after we finish all these layers, like I said, we're going to cover it with foil. See how forgiving that is? We can just kind of lay it there. It'll piece itself back together. Nobody will know. So you don't have to worry about being perfect, fellas. Perfection is not required here. Just intention. Good intention. To make something wonderful for that special somebody in your life. And this is a cheap dinner. And I say cheap because we're not making our own sauce from scratch. We're not making our own pasta. We are just using some store-bought things that we kicked up a bit to kind of take it to the next level. Make it a little exciting for us. And our date. And again, you will have leftovers, so that's the beauty of this. You can eat it for more than a day. Who doesn't like a dish that extends itself and wows that significant someone? Isn't that pretty? I love this ricotta filling. It's one of my favorite things to do. People are always like, oh, that looks so amazing. It's so easy to do. Just some fresh spinach. Okay, get that all in there, and we're going to cover it with our last sheet. And into the oven to bake for about 20-25 minutes until it's bubbling. We're going to take off the foil, and we're going to add a nice little layer of cheese, mozzarella, to the top so that it melts. I'm going to cover my top, my last layer, with this last bit of meat because we had a little extra. Let's scrape it all out. And maybe drill some cheese in there, mozzarella. There we go. This smells yummy already. Looks yummy already. It's so much fun. Okay, now I'm gonna cover this. I'm just doing this last little layer of meat and cheese. I'm not going to do any ricotta in there because we ran out. We finished our ricotta. I just want to use the rest of the pasta because I don't want to waste it. And I had enough meat to do one more little layer. So, nice and high, stacked up lasagna. Alright, so I just have one pasta sheet left, which is great. Now, we're going to get this covered with foil and get it in the oven and let it bake at 375 for about 25 minutes. Then we're going to take off the foil, put the rest of our cheese mixture on top, let that bake till it gets a nice brown coloring, and boom, we're all set. Now while that's baking, guys, you can get your kitchen all cleaned up nice and right and tight because we have a lot of little things to clean up so that you will be prepared and ready for your dinner date. And then you can freshen yourself up for that hour that the lasagna is in the oven baking. Get your table set, get your wine chilled if it needs to be chilled, get your wine glasses out, and get ready for that lovely evening with that special someone. Okay, fellas, so a few things while we wait for the lasagna to come out to do our last step, which is the cheese covering that we're going to do. I'm going to do shredded mozzarella. I added some shredded Parmesan. I'm going to add a little bit of parsley, dry parsley flakes to that too because I like it to look pretty. My kitchen is already cleaned up, garbage is thrown out. I expect the same of you guys so that when your date arrives, everything is in order and in place. And if you're worried about her or him thinking that you didn't make everything, okay, leave your dishes all cleaned in the dish rack. Save some wrappers if you want, save some boxes if you want, but I threw out all my trash. Everything is cleaned up and ready to go, so I'd be ready for a date right now. I hope that you would be too. So we're going to take out our lasagna in a few minutes, but before we do that, just a couple of tips for you. You want to get some French bread or Italian bread. A nice French baguette really would be preferable. And you can make it into a garlic bread if you like, or just warm it up. You wrap it in foil, warm it up, and just slice that and serve that with your lasagna. Make a quick little side salad. So you can just buy in a bag the already pre-made mixed greens. Add some cherry tomatoes or some heirloom tomatoes cut up. You can add some slices of shaved carrot if you want, or slices of cucumber, whatever you like to go in your salad, and get a nice like light balsamic dressing to go with it. You can get some really nice over-the-counter light balsamic dressings. As a matter of fact, I want to recommend one to you because this one's a spray one, so you can just spray the dressing on there just to coat it lightly. I have some here. This one I love. It's a wishbone one, so it's a spritz. It comes in a spritz bottle. You just spray it on your greens, ready to go. Another cute thing I found, because I'm making my lasagna for a friend tonight, I'm giving mine away. This cute disposable carry and go dish from Reynolds. And this cute, so it comes with a lid, comes with the pan that we use tonight to make the lasagna. And it comes with this little cute little box. I'm going to sit the pan in with the little bottom that goes with it that gives you all the instructions. So I'm going to get to deliver it just like this, nice and hot with a lid on it. I'm really excited. And gentlemen, I hope that this cheat dinner and this cheat recipe will help you to fill the heart and the belly of the one you love. And come back and see me if you have any more questions or anything you want to know about how to make this date extra special. Coming into my Facebook. It's Chef Jamil or Chic Peas, CHICPEAS NYC on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram, but you can send me a direct message either on Instagram or Facebook and ask me whatever other tips you might want about the dinner, for things you might want to do. Any wine recommendations, I'm happy to give you that as well. And any shopping list tips, but I am going to include a shopping list for you in this video at the end. All right, and I hope to see your dishes. Post them on my Facebook page. I'd love to see what they look like when they come out. Especially love to see the expression on the faces of the ladies that you're going to be dining, and let them know that you cheated with me right here, Chic Peas NYC. Thank you.